There is nothing like a great casserole to put a big smile on not only your face, but your family's face too. And I have got 4 amazing quick and easy casserole recipes for you today. Hey friends, I'm Susan, and welcome to my home. You know what? Casseroles are definitely a staple in a lot of homes. And whenever you can make something, put it together real quick, and put it in the oven to cook, it makes for easy cooking, to say the least, especially if you can do almost all of it in one dish. And usually casseroles are pretty close to that, if not that, every time. Well, I have got 4 recipes for you this week, and they are absolutely amazing. You'll love them. Just watch. You'll see. And this video is in collaboration with Sammi May of Managin the Maze, and I will list both her channel and the playlist in the description below. And go show her channel and the other creators lots of love. So come on, let's get to making some casseroles. Not just any casseroles, but some of the best casseroles that you can make and your family will love. So come on, let's get to cooking. And let's get to making a tater tot breakfast casserole. You're going to need some sausage. I went ahead and pulled out my mild Italian sausage. You could use Jimmy Dean or any other kind, but I wanted to go ahead and use this up because it was ready to be used. Got some garlic powder, salt and pepper. I've got some cheddar cheese, some milk, 8 eggs, and it calls for 24 ounces of frozen tater tots. I'm just using up what I had in the freezer, which is not quite 24 ounces. It's more like 18 or 20. But it'll fill up the bottom of the pan, hopefully, and that'll be all I need. So let's go ahead and get the Italian sausage browning up, and then we'll come together and put the rest of it in. I do have my oven preheating at 375, so it'll be ready to go when I get all of this done. And after thinking about that Italian sausage for a little bit, I decided I think I would rather have Jimmy Dean. So I'm going to go ahead and brown up some Jimmy Dean instead of the Italian sausage. That way it'll be more like breakfast, because that Italian sausage is more like a lunch. This, Jimmy Dean, hot and spicy, that's breakfast. So let's get going on browning this up. And now I've got all the sausage cooked up. And I do have a sous chef in here with me. Buddy. There's my sous chef coming to help Mama cook. Ain't that right? Or more like help Mama by finding stuff on the floor that has fallen. Let's go ahead and get everything into the 9x13 pan. The first thing I'm going to start off with is the tater tots. Like I said, I did not have 24 ounces of tater tots. Let's see if this will fill up the pan, or at least decently, on the bottom. Well, yeah, it's not quite doing it. Maybe I need to change into a smaller pan. Okay, now I've sized down to a smaller, I think it's like an 8x8 if I'm not mistaken. But now's the time to layer everything. These are completely frozen, and hopefully all the stuff I'm putting in here won't overfill this. It might. We will see. It's what happens whenever you don't have enough of one thing. So now that we've got everything in the 8x8, I'm going to go ahead and add in the sausage to the pan. You can drain it if you want to. I am using a slotted spoon, and I am just going to layer it in there, because it's going to be a nice big layer, I can tell you that much, of all of this good sausage. I'm going to go ahead and add in the cheddar cheese. It calls for 2 cups of cheddar cheese. I'm not going to put quite that much because we've got a smaller container. I'm kind of worried about it overfilling and running out. So I'm going to go ahead and put in probably close to 2 cups, because I'm going to cover the whole top of it with cheddar cheese. That way we can have a good cheesy layer on top. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is adding the eggs and the milk that I just whisked. And I'm going to try to see if I can get it down into all the layers, because that's what's going to make it good. It looks like it's going down in there. And it looks like I may actually have exactly the right amount for this dish. The last part is some salt and pepper, and half a teaspoon of garlic powder, which I am just going to do a little sprinkle over top. I'm sure it's probably a little more than half a teaspoon, but you know what? I love garlic powder. Now we're going to put this in the oven at 375. It says 40 minutes covered. So I'm going to go ahead and do about 30 minutes covered and then uncover it. So let me go ahead and get on the aluminum foil and then get it into the oven and start this cooking for breakfast. And I just got it out of the oven. I did 30 minutes covered, 10 minutes uncovered. The top was still a little jiggly, so I went ahead and put it on broil for about 3 to 5 minutes just to let the top. Danny and I like our eggs over easy anyway. I probably should have scrambled the eggs before I added the milk. Something for y'all to do that I did not do. But I'm going to go ahead and let this cool down a little bit before we dig in. It smells amazing, guys. So glad I decided to use the Jimmy Dean instead of the Italian sausage. This smells like breakfast. And let's let it cool down and we'll get us a bite. And here you go. Breakfast casserole. It's looking really good. It's still a little gooey on the inside, but the egg is done because it's cooked for over 40 minutes. So now it's time to eat some breakfast. And this looks amazing, and I'll let you know how it tastes. And I just got some in a mug, guys. This is really good. I mean, I normally don't like breakfast casseroles that good. This is great. I definitely make it again. It is the bomb. So, come on. You gotta make it. Breakfast in a pan, and it is amazing. And it's time for another amazing casserole. Let's do a chicken burrito casserole. We're gonna need some chicken broth or chicken bone stock, which is what I have right here. Some taco seasoning, some cream of chicken soup, a can of corn, rotel, and black beans that have been drained and rinsed. Half of this container of sour cream. I've got some Mexican cheese. I've got 2 cups of rice, and I've got 3+ cups of chicken breasts that came off a rotisserie chicken. I took both sides of the breasts off and basically cut them down into smaller pieces, and I've got those ready to roll. So let's go ahead and get this chicken burrito casserole put together so we can get it in the oven. I'm preheating the oven to 350, so it's getting ready for us to cook us a good meal. Let's go ahead and get this put together. I'm going to put half of the sour cream, which is, 16 ounces. I'm going to put 8 ounces of this into the bowl real quick, which that looks really good. The next thing I'm going to put in is the cream of chicken soup. You have 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, so this is going to be nice and creamy and good. I've got both cans in. I'm going to next add in the taco seasoning mix and get that stirred around until it is pretty much incorporated in the mix. And the next thing I'm going to add in is the chicken broth. This is chicken bone broth, so it is a little bit thicker than regular chicken broth, but it has a lot of flavor. This might be a little more than 2 cups, but you know what? I need to use it up. So I'm going to go ahead and get it in here and get it all mixed together. I'm now going to add in the chicken to the mix, the rotel I'm going to add in now, and the 2 cups of rice. This is instant rice. It's not the long grain like I normally use. I did have to go buy some, guys. But you know what? If it makes a great meal, then it's well worth it. So let me get this mixed in with the stuff. The last 2 items I'm going to put in are the black beans that have been drained and rinsed, and the can of whole kernel corn. Now that this is completely mixed together, it's time to get it into the dish. Now I'm going to go ahead and pour this into a 9 by 13 baking dish. It's basically a dump and go, guys, if you hadn't figured that out by now. And I'm going to go ahead and smooth it out to even it all out. And the last thing you're going to put on this is the cheese. It says to sprinkle the cheese on top. And I'm just going to cover the top of it to give it some good cheesy goodness. And now all the cheese is on top. Let's get this in the oven. We're going to put it in 350 oven for 40 minutes, covered, then uncovered, and let it bake for another 10 to 15 minutes. And I left it in for 40 minutes covered, 10 minutes uncovered, turned the oven off, and left it in for an additional 5 just to try to get the top a little bit browner. Well, this is as brown as it got, but it still looks amazing. And I don't know if you can see, but it is bubbling around the sides. So I've got to let this cool down, and then we'll get it served up. And let's dig into this, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get a corner piece and get that on the plate. The rice is nice and done. Look at that. It's looking really good. Oh, and the cheese pull. I don't know if you can see the cheese pull, but it is definitely happening on this today. So let me go ahead and get this on the plate so we can get it ate up. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of sour cream on top. And there you go. It is the chicken burrito casserole. And it is definitely what's for supper tonight. And I done took a taste of it, and it is amazing, guys. Y'all are gonna love it. So come on, let's get to eating. And tonight we're gonna be making a taco salad casserole. I know it sounds unusual, but yes, you do bake it in the oven. But then you put the salad on top afterwards, so let's get started. We've got some taco seasoning, some onion, green pepper. It called for refried beans. I didn't have any, so I got some pinto beans out and mushed them real good. This will do just fine. I do need a little bit of water, some crushed up tortilla shells, and some cheese. It calls for cheddar, but y'all know I love me some Mexican blend. And of course the star of the show, the hamburger that I'm browning up right now. So let's get to making the taco salad casserole and see how amazing it tastes. I've already browned my hamburger meat and drained it. I'm going to go ahead and add in the onion and the bell pepper. Apparently I was supposed to do this all together, but you know, that's all right. I like my onion not to be so wilty. I'm going to go ahead and let this cook for about a minute or so, and then we'll get to going with something else. And I've let that wilt down just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put in the taco seasoning and the half a cup of water. I'm going to go ahead and mix that around real quick so we can get all of that taco seasoning all throughout the meat. And once this starts boiling a little bit and the meat absorbs the mixture, then we'll be ready to start making our casserole. The oven has finished preheating to 375. This is, I believe, an 8x8, 9x9, whatever you want to call it, casserole dish. It doesn't make a huge one like a 9x13. It makes a smaller one. I just have a bag of tortilla chips that I have crushed, or basically that's the bottom of the bag. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these over the bottom of the casserole dish. Now this is whenever I'm kind of glad that I didn't have refried beans, because you're supposed to be able to layer the beans over top of these shells. And my thoughts is, man, if this was refried beans, this would be really hard to layer. But because I've got these pinto beans, I can just dollop them on top and then keep on a trucking, and then I'll try my best to smooth them out when I get done putting them all on here. Now let's see how efficiently I can spread them. This might be a little comical. Yep, we're going to barely get a little spread in them. That's about it. So now that that's done, we're going to spread over top the meat mixture. And I'm just going to pop it in there. And spread it out a little bit. This smells really, really good. I'm sure it's going to taste really, really good. The last thing we're going to do is add in, or add on top, some cheese. It only called for like a cup of cheese. Y'all know me, it's got to have more than a cup. I'm going to put a nice little helping on top. If you know, you know, we love us some cheese. So let me go ahead and get this spread out. Now I've got all the cheese spread into the mixture. This is going to go in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. So let's go ahead and put it in. And here you go. Here's what it looks like when it came out of the oven after 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and get it dished up on a plate. Put some lettuce on it, and let's start eating. And I just got it out of the dish. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of taco seasoning on top of it. A little bit of red and green. A little bit of sour cream, because y'all know I love my sour cream. And this is what's for supper tonight. Taco salad casserole. And I guarantee it's going to be a good one. So let's eat. And tonight I'm going to be making a $1 million chicken casserole. I've got some chicken I've shredded up, melted butter. I've got some cottage cheese, sour cream, and cream cheese. Yep, it's going to be rich. A sleeve of Ritz crackers, some onion powder and some garlic powder, and a can of cream of chicken soup. So let's go ahead and get all this put together in the pan so we can get this in the oven so we can have food supper tonight. And it says to go ahead and combine the chicken and the spices, the cottage cheese and sour cream are going in. The cream cheese is also going in. I have a spatula and I don't think that's going to mix it very well, but I'll try. See how this is going to work. I do have to put in the cream of chicken soup yet, which this is not doing a bad job actually. Just got to keep turning it around. Let me go ahead and add in the cream of chicken soup. I'm again going to use the spatula. Well, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll use the spoon. Spoon seems to be the better option here. There we go. Now I've got everything mixed together. I'm going to go ahead and add the sleeve of Ritz crackers. I just need to crush them. It's the bottom thing. I went ahead and crushed them in the sleeve. I'm going to go ahead and put them over the top of the casserole. My husband loves Ritz, so this is probably going to be right up his alley. All right. Of course, he does love it with the spinach dip on it too. I'm going to go ahead and pour the melted butter over top. Now it's time for this to go into the oven. We're going to put it in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. It says 30 to 40. I'm going to check it at 30. I think 30 is plenty good enough because everything's already cooked. I used a rotisserie chicken in this because it says to use cooked chicken. Life is simple. I like it that way. So let's get this in the oven. And it baked for 30 minutes and look at it bubbling. Ooh, we've got to let this one cool off before we can plate it. I asked Danny what he wanted with it, if he wanted vegetables or noodles or rice. He said noodles. So we're going to be putting some noodles under this on a plate so he can have something to eat. And it looks amazing. And let's get it served up. And here are the noodles that are going to be the base of the dish. And here we go. $1 million casserole on some noodles. And it is so good, guys. I've already had a taste. It's amazing. You've got to try it. It's what's for supper tonight. I tell you what, that $1 million chicken casserole is so amazing. It's probably one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth. And guys, you got to try it. It is, I mean, words can't explain. And I love food. And I'll tell you if I liked it or not. And that is one of the best things. And I am not usually one to like a breakfast casserole. But this one was so good, guys. You are gonna love it. Make it surprise your family, because it surprised me. And that usually don't happen too often when it comes to cooking. So if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to press that little button down there and subscribe so you don't miss any of the fun or good food. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll love this video right here. All kinds of good food, you know it. So until next time, see you then.